It's May 2020, the official start of grilling season. We're doing ribs right here, out on the smoker on the patio. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Not Your Mother's Kitchen. I'm Monty. Today, my self-proclaimed king of barbecue, the rib. Not only the rib, but the spare rib, the St. Louis cut rib. These things are delicious and we're really gonna have a good time eating them tonight. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get started seasoning them. But before we do that, the membrane, we have to take it off. Best way to do that is with a butter knife. We're gonna come in on a rib right here. We're gonna lift that up a little bit. We'll get our thumb underneath there. Paper towel. And we will pull this off almost in one piece. We'll get that little piece right there. Now the reason we're doing this is we want to get as much seasoning as we can on these things. And to do that, we have to remove this membrane. There we go. We're done. It's that simple. Trim this one off just a little bit. Now, a lot of people want to come in here and trim this up. I don't do a whole lot of trimming. If I've got a piece of fat sitting right here, I'm going to trim that off with my knife. Throw that in the sink. I know you're not supposed to. I understand, because there's contaminants on it. My sink, I clean it out when I'm done. Okay? So in case any of you keyboard cooks out there are going to give me a hard time, that's why I do it, because I clean my sink after I get done prepping these. This little piece right here, we are going to leave that. I don't think that's a big deal. Now, before we get started spicing this up, seasoning this up, or spicing it up, however you like it, I'm gonna wash my hands. Now, for our spices today, we're gonna be using Atkins chicken and pork rub. Now, I've used Atkins before. The stuff I used to use would come in a bag. And when I got transferred with my job up to Kansas City, I couldn't get it. So whenever I come down to visit the kids, I would always pick up a bag. This is something new I haven't used yet. I'm excited to use it. So let's get started seasoning. It smells good, that's for sure. So we're gonna season, it's got some big chunks in it. We're gonna put a pretty good coat on this. Not a heavy one, but we're gonna go back across just like that. Then we're gonna pat that in. We're gonna put it on the back side. Not as heavy a coat on the back side as we are the front. And that's about it right there. There you go. They're seasoned, ready to go. Okay, I've got my area cleaned up here, got my utensils cleaned, and we are now ready to go out to the smoker, out on the patio, and put these on. So let's go. So today we're gonna be cooking on a Camp Chef Smoke Pro. It's set to 250 degrees, and we're using applewood pellets. We're gonna take the ribs. We're gonna lay them in the center down here, get them situated. You wanna kind of bunch them up, because how they lay is how they cook. And we're gonna wait 2.5 hours, we'll check on them. See you back then. Okay, we've got the ribs back inside, now it's time to wrap. This is the way I like to wrap it. Now you can use any butter you want. You can use the squeeze butter, you can use stick butter. I like to use Kerrygold, that's what I like. You don't have to use that. I know it's expensive. If you want to get just regular butter, go ahead. But we've got our butter laid out here. This is equal to 4 tablespoons of butter. And this is the reason I like Kerrygold, is that it's a little wider sticks of butter right here. And then on top of that, we're going to put just a little bit of brown sugar. And we're going to pat that in. And then we're going to take our ribs. We're going to turn them meat side down on top of this butter. just like that. Then we're going to sprinkle just a little more brown sugar over the top of this. I don't want a lot here. You can kind of overdo it, and I don't want to do that. And then we're going to get ready to wrap this up. Now I've got 2 pieces of foil right here, and I'm going to pull these up like this, kind of get it like that. I have here less than ¼ cup of apple cider. And I'm just gonna put that in there with the ribs, give it a little moisture, and I'm gonna fold them over. Be careful. You don't want to poke any bones through this, but this is why we do have 2 pieces of foil. There we go. These are ready to go back out on the grill, so let's get them out there. All right, we're back out at the grill. We've got our ribs wrapped, and now we're going to put them on. We're going to keep the temperature at about 250 degrees. We're going to leave these on here for about an hour, and then we'll be back out and we'll open them up, and at that time we'll sauce them. We'll let the sauce tack up for about 15 minutes, and they'll be ready to eat. We've been on the grill for an hour. It's been wrapped. We've opened up the wrap and we've sauced it. The sauce I'm using today is a barbecue sauce, Hillsdale Bank Barbecue out of Hillsdale, Kansas. Great story on these guys, husband and wife team. They owned a barbecue restaurant. They shut it down because of health issues with the wife, but he still makes these bottles of sauce every day in that same barbecue store. And so if a grocery store calls up and says, hey, I need 250 bottles, he goes in and he makes 252 bottles, bottles it, puts the label on, ships it out all himself. So it's really good. You can find this, buy it, support him. He's doing it himself. So these look pretty good right here. We're going to check them and see. You can see I got some good pullback on the bones. We're going to see what kind of bend we have here. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good bend. That's probably right where I like them. I like them to have enough bite where you can bite through it, but it's really tender to chew. So we're going to pull these off, and we'll get them inside, and then we'll get them cut up, and we'll give them a taste. All right, so we've got them inside now. We've got them on. We'll take them off. We'll get them on a cutting board so we can cut them. I like to cut meat side down. I can see where the bones lie. At which point, I can tell how I'm going to cut them. So let's get these cut up and see what they look like. All right. Oops. All right. So let's take a look at them. Grab this one right here. If you can see, look how juicy they are. Juice just rolling out of them. Now let's go in for the bite. Man, those are clean bone. Here's another one. Those are really good. They're juicy. These are probably some of the best ribs I've made in a long time. They're not so tender that they melt in your mouth, but they are not so firm that they're not chewable. So, guys, give these ribs a try. Use whatever rub you want. I used a 2.5, 1, and about a 15-20 minute time frame. So 2.5 hours smoked, 1 hour wrapped, and then 15 minutes after you sauced them to tack the sauce up. These are great. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified. Hey, we love you, and y'all have a good one.